Hi, this is one of our new tipping points. Nothing human is foreign to me. And this is our regular exploration in our Zoom groups, where we'll have 6 to a dozen friends in the Zoom, and each is sharing what's happening in their system. They're sharing what the most prominent quality of self is, of this beingness. And then the invitation is, can we all find that? Can we all find that? And what's it like to sink into this? Or what's most like that quality of beingness, that peace, love, okayness, flow, absolution? However, we have a list of a couple hundred that I have, and it's just what we're interested in, how it plays in you. And can we find that? Can we find self beingness as we hear it in each other? How intimate are we with that in ourselves? And then, because that's the easier part, the more difficult one are the parts as we hear people describe the thoughts, feelings, and sensations that we label as parts that arise in them. The sense of, an achiever, a shame, a critic, a fear, right? But a very specific fear. And then, can we find that in our systems? It's beautiful as we open up this way to the shared humanity, experientially, finding it somatically inside ourselves. So, what about you? There's this, there's this, nothing human is foreign to me. How do you know that? And it also takes us in different places. It takes us all kinds of directions, right? It really kind of bursts some of the specialness. Because notice parts will go 2 ways with specialness often. They'll go into, there's something really special here with this part or this and that. And then but as we find that in each of us, that voice and the way it does that. And then it goes the opposite direction as well. Parts that'll be like, oh my God, there's something so wrong with me. I have so much shame. I did it so wrong. I'm never going to be okay. And it's so human. It's so preciously human. And as we hear it in each other, and it's often easier to have compassion as we hear it in others than in ourselves. So as we have compassion and love for it, as we hear our friends speak of this or hear me speak of it in my system, then we all get to, and then we're like, wait a minute, I have something just like that in mine, and we find it, and it's a celebration of our humanity. And so this effortless IFS, we're not moving away from anything, and we're going deeper into our humanity. And then it gets to be unburdened. Gets to be unburdened because it's almost the burden is the resistance to what is, the resistance to these expressions of our humanity, the fears that come up and all of it, the resistance to it, something that makes it wrong. But as we discover the shared humanity, as we discover that nothing human is foreign to me experientially, then it's wonderful because first, we find it in our own systems, right? As everything that arises, there becomes more compassion, more welcoming, more including it, not making it wrong or this needs to change. It's like, oh, isn't it sweet? Look at that. Look at that critic. Look at that. Oh, there's still some shame here. And there's just love of it. But then the wildest thing happens because then you're out in the world, right? And someone says something that would be like considered really rude to you, and you recognize where it's coming from in them. It's like, oh, I know that part. I have that too. Or whoever represents the opposite of your politics, like, oh no, that is wrong and bad. You hear their voices, you hear their expressions, and you hear, oh, they're longing for safety, longing for okayness, longing for specialness, whatever it is. And you're like, oh, I know that as well. And then it just opens this shared humanity. And then we get to be part of, then there's this is the sweet connection, right? Like, what do we love when we're in love, when we're in relationship, when we're with our families, when we're with our beloved? That sense of love and connection, right? As we open more and more in this, it just comes back, and we find it more and more in the world, even with the others, those that are doing things the wrong way, speaking the wrong way, whatever that is, it's just like everything gets to be welcomed. Nice to be with you.